Hi, my name is Molly Sanders, and I am against bilingual education. And throughout this PowerPoint, I'm going to give you 5 points on why I'm against it. Point number one is money. Bilingual education is so expensive. Schools across the United States struggle to keep their foreign language programs funded every year. Running a dominant language program is extremely cheaper than attempting to educate a minority language student. A lot of the times, if a student isn't understanding the language that they are being taught in school, all that the money that we spent on that program is going to go down the drain. And there are so many other things in the school or in programs that we need funded that we know will be successful. So this is a huge risk with our money. My second point is foreign language students do not assimilate as easily. So, a negative that I hear all the time in schools is about bilingual education is that it allows for foreign students the opportunity to avoid complete assimilation into the culture where they currently live. In order to adapt to the current culture where a person lives, a person needs to make certain sacrifices. One of these sacrifices being their dominant language. If we offer bilingual education, we are trying to make the cultural gap bigger rather than bridging it. It also makes the student struggle in all the other subjects in school, like science and math and social studies. My third point is that it reduces the focus on a career. When a child spends a lot of time learning a second language, this can create difficulties with their ability to develop the skills that they need in the other areas. Specializing in one particular area is considered to stunt the child's overall development and can actually lead to a lack of well-rounded learning. So if the student is really concentrating on learning a second language, that student is going to fall behind in all the other content areas like math and science and social studies. And it's really going to hurt their education because it's going to be very hard for them to catch back up. My fourth point is the lack of qualified teachers, which I think is a huge problem considering a lot of schools have trouble just getting regular education teachers. So, a huge problem we are having in bilingual education is the lack of qualified teachers. A successful bilingual education requires a strict, patient, and experienced teacher who has the time to deal with all the problems that can and will come up. Sadly, these teachers are hard to find and there are not very many of them. Most teachers are already overwhelmed in their normal subjects. So it's very hard to find a teacher who's qualified, who's willing to take the time to be a bilingual educator. So that is a huge problem. My fifth point and last point is being pulled out of class, which I see as a huge problem because I used to be pulled out of class and it really made me struggle in all my other areas. I missed so much and then I would come back and just be completely lost. So I really connect with this point. Bilingual students have to get pulled out of class so that they can attend their ESL class. This has many negative effects on the student. For example, the student misses the new content that is being taught in the classroom. And it also makes these students stand out and feel like they aren't normal. It makes their confidence lower and also makes them embarrassed, changing the way they feel about school. I remember being pulled out and I was just so embarrassed because I was the only one being pulled out and everyone looks at you when you're being pulled out and it's really just kind of more embarrassing than anything. It really made me dread going to school because I knew right when 2 o'clock hit, I was going to be pulled and everyone was going to stare. So that also can hurt the self-esteem of the student. Summary. Overall, I think we should not incorporate bilingual education into our school. I see so many negatives not only to the school, but to the students. We have so many other things that need funding and would most likely have a better chance of making it. I feel like we would struggle finding the qualified teachers that we would need, and also it would bring a disadvantage for our students, having them being pulled out and missing new content. I hope this presentation really helped open your eyes on bilingual education. Thank you for listening.